What's up? We LTE. All right. Hopefully this will work. If you're tuning in, please let me know how it's going because I hate my cell phone company. I like my cell phone. My cell phone is this idea that you need this brand new phone to do a million things and take like 4K video is a little bit crazy to me. But anyways, wanted to talk about the wind today. It is very windy in Los Angeles, and it always makes me think of wind related things because it's such an obvious force. You know, when you're out and about, when you're inside, you don't hear it so much unless maybe you hear something creaking or see if I can turn my brightness up here. Oh, much better. I know that if any of you have been following G Bear's off grid homestead in the desert channel, his title is something like that. He messes around with wind power a little bit. I believe he has a 200 to 300 watt turbine that when it's blowing puts out a bit of power. I mean, obviously 200 to 300 watts, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about charging a battery bank, you know, I think he has the solar panels to meet his sort of typical demand, and then the wind power is just kind of in combination with that to charge the system, you know, because a good percentage of a human's consumption of electricity is not continuous, you know. Like even heat in the house or energy to heat up water. That's actually water heater is probably a little more continuous energy, even if you're not taking showers. The thing has to be on. But what is like toasters, microwaves? I mean, I guess if you're watching the TV for a little bit, but you don't always need, you know, the max capacity load for your system in an off-grid system, right? So that's how you can kind of get away with, you know, not having a full generator, but still having a fridge and a TV and a microwave and a toaster. You just maybe can't have all those things going all at the same time plus your AC. But I'm curious how many of people watching this stream either live or uh, on the rerun have thought about wind power, live anywhere where there's any chance of wind power. Do you think it's a good idea, dumb idea? Would you be willing to spend $200 or $300 on a Chinese windmill? Or people have tried and succeeded in making their own windmills. Oh, I kind of meant to go the other way. Darn it. Oh, lovely. Just taking a piss in the middle of the street. Jesus. I swear. All right. I really don't want to drive past taking a piss in the street, man, again. But it's kind of the faster way to get on the goddamn freeway. But yeah, what do we think about wind power? I don't know if it's windy enough in LA consistently to be beneficial, but there is quite often some amount of breeze, whether it's, you know, 3 or 4 knots, 5 or 6 knots. As a former amateur windsurfer, I can tell you that San Diego had a pretty consistent, like 6 to 10 knots, sort of different times of the year. So Uncle Al is not a fan of the wind generators. I mean, the concept is there, right? Is it that it doesn't scale well to a smaller size? Do you need a larger windmill for it to really be efficient? That's a little bit hard to do for the homesteader, obviously. You're not going to spend like 50 grand on a 100-foot tower windmill, which is another thing. The closer to the ground you are, the slower the wind speed. So if you have a multi-story house or you have somewhere on your property that's a little bit elevated, you can definitely get a big difference in wind speed versus, you don't want to just put it in your front lawn, obviously. There's a really cool new type of wind turbine that if you Google or YouTube search Carmen Vortex, like wobbling wind turbine, it's literally a post It's a very specially shaped post, but you can kind of do it with the normal post. And the post just oscillates, literally just back and forth like that. Nothing spins, nothing really moves. It pivots, but just kind of sits there. My camera's crooked, but just kind of sits there like that, right, in the wind. And these Kármán vortices are really fascinating. They form from fluid moving past a shape, maybe like a cylinder or a rectangle. I don't know if I suppose they care what kind of shape they're flowing past. If they flow past an airfoil, you might not get it so much as a cylinder, but you need to have kind of like some area of stagnant air behind the shape. So I think it's not the most aerodynamic shapes, but at any rate, freaking traffic, man. So what happens is these vortices form and they kind of oscillate. So the vortices shed off the back of this object that's in the wind, and the one vortice, once they start developing, one vortice will go one way and one will go the other, and they very reliably keep doing that, left and right, left and right. So you put this funny looking post out in the wind, and it sort of starts naturally oscillating by itself, and then you have some piezoelectric motors in the bottom. And it's not a huge amount of energy, but it's a very reliable, safe source of energy. Doesn't harm the wildlife. Not that I'm too concerned about bird strikes by windmills. I suppose if the entire Wabi windmill screws with the internet. Do they? If you look hard enough, or maybe you don't have to look that hard, you'll find stories about people that live near normal wind farms that get headaches, that they claim that they make these like low vibrations and they kind of keep them up at night. And I don't doubt it. I personally would not want to live near a wind farm. If you watch, oh gosh, what's his channel? Sawyer. So bad with channel names, but there's this guy up in Oregon. It's like Sawyer's Camp Lumber something. I'm so sorry. I hope he watches this video. I'm going to be really embarrassed. But I'll next video or two. Oh, for freaking heaven's sakes, people! The next video or two, I'll shout him out. But at any rate, he's this lumberjack guy. Literally, he processes wood and cuts down trees, and it's his full-time job. But there was a storm up in Oregon, and there was a lot of high winds, and it was blowing all these trees down, and it kind of destroyed the neighbor's property. I think it kind of caused a fire and all this other nonsense. So it's something that, as a Californian living in an urban environment, you don't necessarily think about, oh, there's high winds, is the power going to go out? Is, a tree going to fall on my house? But truly, the wind doesn't care where you live. The wind doesn't care where the tree is. It doesn't care where the power line is. So palm trees in California are the worst. Palm trees, I guess they're designed for high wind. They don't blow over super often from what I've seen. I lived in California my whole life. Very rarely have I ever seen a palm tree on the ground after a windstorm. Some plants shed wind a little bit better than others, but what they do is they these palm fronds. What's up, Alpine? They drop the palm fronds, and the palm fronds are kind of spiky and pointy and got all sorts of nasty stuff on it. So, warning out there to all you Californians: if you're near a palm tree and it gets very windy, get upwind of the palm tree, because you do not want any of that crap falling on you. Probably wouldn't kill you, but heaven forbid it knocks you in the back of the head or spikes you in some super awful way. Not super pleasant. So the third topic of this video is opportunity. What kind of opportunities does a windstorm present itself? Well, the Sawyer channel, because he had some heavy equipment and because he was in the industry, he was able to harvest some of these trees that went down that weren't on his property. So like maybe they were on county property or next to the road or something. So the power company would come along and kind of, turn off the power or cut the trees and kind of move it away from the power lines or whatnot. But then they just leave it on the side of the road. So he was able to, sort of with the help of his friends and neighbors, talk to the county officials and say, hey, we're going to paint these trees safe or something. Just leave them for me. I'll take them and I'll process them. But even around your local neighborhood, what's up, Kevin? Even around your local neighborhood, it could be worth keeping an eye out for a branch that's fallen, for firewood, for a little bit of mulch, to clean up the neighborhood, to help out a neighbor. You never know what a good deed, might return. If you knock on somebody's house and, they happen to be maybe like an elderly couple or something that doesn't have a chainsaw, or just anyone that doesn't have a chainsaw really, say, hey, I noticed this tree fell. I noticed this branch fell. Do you want me to, chop it up and I'll take it off your property? They might even pay you for it. But the point is to be mindful of these opportunities that destruction can sometimes bring. Well, exactly, Uncle Al. And I don't really have an enormous fire. I have a very pathetic. I have practically a pathetic kindling collection. I don't even have a firewood collection, but I don't have anything to burn firewood in currently. I have been meaning to make a little ghetto rocket stove just as kind of an experiment so that I can cook stuff. Dumb call came in. I swear, when I end up changing my cell phone number, it's just going to be because of these dumb robocalls. You give one wrong company your phone number and they share it with somebody, and then a million people in the world call you every goddamn day. And the worst part is, it's always from area codes that you used to live in. Like, they look up your previous address and then they mask the number with the area code you used to live in, so it makes it seem like it's a more legitimate call, which is some dirty, underhanded crap. Yeah, I went through a tunnel or some garbage. I don't know. Oh, what's up, just-in-time preparedness? Yeah, I know you will. It's all good. Although maybe your name was just-in-time prepping before. Maybe that's why you're... But anyway, we're just kind of talking about wind power, harnessing the wind, dangers associated with the wind. I don't think I really have a lot of tall trees near my place. There's a very modest sized pata de vaca cowfoot tree in front of my house. It's trimmed fairly well by myself, so it's okay. My neighbors have kind of a tall, hideous, terribly pruned tree that's like super thick in the middle with no branches or anything. It's really awful, but it's like a 16-inch diameter tree, so it doesn't have enough foliage to get pushed around in the wind, really. But the point is, be mindful, right? Even if you're not somewhere where it's super windy, you kind of want to be thinking about, if there's a giant windstorm, how old is this tree? Or is this the type of tree that actually has good roots, or is this the type of tree that has shallow roots? Yeah, like if I could show you, like right here, this is perfect. See all these palm fronds? All this garbage could land on your head. Don't want that garbage landing on your head. That's terrible, but it's a great photo opportunity. So, you got to kind of be careful about stuff like that. Great time to go windsurfing or wind sailing. Maybe not sailing, because most sailboats are not so great in kind of heavy winds. Unnecessarily sketchy. Oh, excuse me. We're off to work. Of course, live that Smurf life, right, Uncle Al? Luckily, I got a nap. Today, can we drive around this corner faster than 5 miles an hour? I swear. I don't know what's so difficult about this. It's like a normal corner with a slight little dip in the road, and people freak out. They're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's a tight corner, and it goes down, and then it goes up, and then I have to go left. Don't understand it. So I didn't really have much else to talk about on the video. I'm trying and failing mostly to present my channel in a slightly more professional manner and not just random rants, me driving home crying about somebody being weird at work. But I deal with a lot of people at work, so it's kind of, I got to let it out somewhere. Definitely can't vent at work too much. Gotta be careful. Polite, professional, and productive. That's what I always say. Yes, but you got to keep in mind, Uncle Al, the Smurf life now is in preparation for a non-Smurf life in the future. Okay, so trust me, I don't want to do the full-time thing forever, especially considering, it's not like I just got out of school. I've definitely been working full-time, uh, on and off for the last 22 years. Um, so, but until I figure out a cheaper, faster way, starting your own business, being a small business person in this day and age is a hugely difficult thing. I've kind of dabbled in it a little bit, and I do have some ideas about products I want to bring to the market. Incidentally, one product that would be pretty nice on a windy day, I have business ideas about like wind parks, but stuff takes capital, time, credit, income. It really wouldn't take a lot for me to retire per se. I've been around, well, just working mostly. I haven't been anywhere exciting, unfortunately, other than to the mountains a few weeks ago. But really, other than that, I've been in LA for almost consistently all of the COVID nonsense. Which, can we please talk about this for a second? If you guys haven't heard, lady, please do not walk across the street right now. Jesus. Gavin Newsom just opened up California. Uncle Al, please tell me you're going to make a video about this. Everything was closed, everything was closed, everything was closed. Then boom, Biden gets elected, California's open. How magical is that? How friggin' ridiculous is that? I really wasn't planning on talking about this video, and I won't really go into it too much deeper, but that's a bunch of bullshit. That is a bunch of mile-high Denver City piled up bullshit right there. That's what I think that is. So anyways, we're about to pull into work. I got to concentrate so I don't have any boopers in the parking lot. But until next time, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think about wind power. Do you use it? Have you ever thought about it? Do you check your property for wind safety? And have you ever taken opportunity or taken advantage as a result of a windstorm? Like, comment, and subscribe below so I can spread my high production value quality to the world. And until next time, keep prepping, folks.